Alright, we're back. This is our new Doodle Empires, and we are making Miami right now. We're doing the Caribbean map, if you can't see. And yeah, so zoom in, and they're probably going to want to get all of this lake. They still have a lot of draw power, so we'll kind of connect that up. That's sort of the middle of the Everglades down there, so they're probably not going to be able to be there, but this is like the start of civilization, so let me go back to Miami. Ooh, new nation. Alright. So if we go in here, let's see what our next nation should be. We should probably do like the Yucatan. So I apologize if I don't spell these right. First Cozumel, and then the Yucatan would go up here in the north, so I can maybe do a Quintana Roo down here. I think that's how you say that. I don't know. I'm not really an expert at the Mexican names. But, these would sort of be like a jungle people, so they would probably be all in the middle. Are they flatlanders? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's go back to the... Whoa, God, what just happened? Let's go back to Miami. A large expand. So, Miami's gonna get the Everglades now. And they're just gonna finish up their land up this way. Just kind of getting all of Florida. Gonna go up here by the barrier where we can draw. Then there. So Miami is just essentially Florida now. Let's go with the Yucatan. A small expand. Probably get down into there. There we go. Let's head back over here to Miami. A small split in Miami. We're going to make Tampa. Or Tampa Bay. We're just going to make Tampa. Good. And Tampa won't get too much, I don't think. They'll probably get more north. That's what I'd really want. So they got a decent amount. I think that's where Tampa is. Alright. So let's go back to Miami. They're tolerant with Tampa, but they are just going to kind of continue expanding. So let's go back to Tampa. They're zealous. I don't really know what that means. Oh, never mind. New nation. Now we're going to make New Orleans. Not that green there. New Orleans. Alright. I know we're doing the Caribbean map, and it's all like up here, but alright, so New Orleans is in, and the Yucatan's probably gonna be a big force, I would say. So, like, I would say that, here, I'm gonna go ahead and make a ranking over on this side. So we can, and I'm gonna, like, rank the nations by, like, how strong their military is and stuff like that. So number one right now would probably be, well, it would be the Yucatan right now, because Miami just split off from, Tampa just split off from Miami. Miami would be a close second. Tampa would have a military, but it wouldn't be as strong as most of these other nations. And then New Orleans would just have like a couple people with sticks, because they just formed. This is still like the beginning of civilization, so let's go back to Miami. They wouldn't really have like too much out there. And Miami is currently at war with Tampa, so they're going to probably take a bit more. And they're probably going to take more of their northern lands. And at this point, Tampa's essentially just a city. So Tampa's essentially just a city-state, and now Miami's gonna have peace with them. New Orleans is going to expand. Oh, never mind. New nation. Alright, our new nation is going to be Havana. So let's do that. Havana. So let me quickly update the rankings. New Orleans now has the third strongest military. And then Havana, again, I apologize if that's not how you spell it, would have last place military. But the Tampa is losing a lot. Yeah, that's roughly where Havana is. So Havana would just take this kind of, well, it's not really a peninsula since Cuba is an island, but they take just like that. Okay, they're flatlanders and they're uniters, so Havana is here. Let's go back to the Yucatan. Oh, they're gonna found a religion. I don't know. They didn't really have religions, but I guess they might, would believe in, so really we're just gonna make the Mayan faith. Done. So there wouldn't really be major religions at this point. Miami would continue expanding towards New Orleans. They don't really know that New Orleans exists right now because there's not much communication. So they wouldn't know anybody but Tampa exists right now. They pretty soon probably find out about New Orleans, but yeah, okay, New Orleans with a large expand. Probably going to expand to the coast, and then they're going to discover Miami, but they're going to leave Miami alone for now. And then they're going to go up these rivers. That's the Mississippi over here, so they would probably form a big colony over here on the Mississippi. And then they would continue expanding on the coast a bit. They'd go up this river, and then they would just continue expanding down the coast. They'd reach Houston, modern day, I believe. Alright, so now New Orleans is a pretty big coastal empire now. Let's go back to the Yucatans, the Mayans, I suppose they would have. Oh, they're gonna form a union. So they don't know anybody exists right now, but I believe that they might be trading with Havana, so they'd probably unite with Havana. And so Havana is dead and out of the competition now. Yeah. So that's kind of shocking. But now the Yucatan would probably be in a good position to expand across Cuba. So, yeah. Let's go back to Miami, who is going to build a castle. So they're actually going to build it in Miami. Confirm. Let's see what Tampa's gonna do. So they're kind of just like, as I said before, a city-state, but they are gonna get a large expand. So I think they would expand here and then start making their way up to this lake. Just take the land around the lake and just take back some of their old lands and new land. So now Tampa's back. They still aren't very good. And so Miami could probably conquer them again, but it's probably not really Miami's intentions right now. Oh, another split in Miami. So I will make this Orlando. So this is kind of reasonable because, so they would probably be they're going to be along this river also, but, Miami probably wouldn't have as good of a grasp on the northern half because of all of the losses to Tampa, and so they would probably want to split away and form a better Well, I guess it's a country now. But, yeah, so Orlando's just gonna kind of come up here, and then they're gonna get all this stuff. So now Orlando has communications with New Orleans. I need to go again with Orlando to fix these borders. Orlando's going to unite. They would probably unite with Tampa. I could see why Tampa would do that. So they would, like, have protection against Miami. So, yeah, makes sense. New Orleans, I'm going to go back with them. It's been, a split. So, our split would probably be Houston. They would be, we'll make them red. We haven't had a red yet. So Houston would get modern day Houston, and then a bit more like this way. They actually got a lot, so wow, Houston got a bunch. Alright, that's a big split in the world, so now I need to update our rankings. Tampa is replaced by Orlando, and then after Orlando would be Houston. Houston would have the weakest military here because they just formed. Origin diverged. What does that even mean? Okay, I don't really understand that. So, yeah, select the Yucatan. The Yucatan are going to get a large expand. Alright, I do have that clicked. Alright, good. So the Yucatan would probably want all of Cuba. It's probably what they would really be going for, because they recently acquired Havana. They made a union with them. They are conquerors, so go ahead and build Cozumel because this was their origin, and it would kind of be their capitals. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting capitals in here. So their capital would be Cozumel. I know that's not the biggest city there, but that's what would kind of base in. And then all these would just be where their actual city name that they're called is. So this would be Houston. This would be New Orleans is somewhere about there. New Orleans. Oh God, I need to fix Orlando's borders. Orlando originated somewhere over there. Orlando. Miami already has a castle, but that makes it. Still have to put a capital. Miami. Alright, there we go. And then I'll go ahead and put Tampa on the map as well. Tampa. And I'll go ahead and put Havana up here too, because why not? Those two countries died. Well, they didn't die. I think that's how you spell it. They didn't die, they formed a union. And so their capitals, which would have been capitals at the time, remain. Alright, let me fix up Orlando's borders here. They're pretty fixed. Why does Miami have that one? Orlando's gonna cut Miami in half. So Miami has fallen in the rankings. So Miami would be now right below. Miami would be in 4th place because of so it goes Yucatan, then New Orleans, then Orlando, then Miami, then Houston. So Orlando has topped Miami, and they're probably a considerable amount away. They have 2 big cities. Miami probably knows that they can't beat them in a war. These 2 are at war, by the way. Another small split in Miami. So this would probably be, I need to look at a map here. We'll go West Palm Beach. Or the dark blue that Havana was. West Palm Beach. So that would be like up here, and then I'll give them that. Alright, so Miami is in big trouble. But West Palm Beach doesn't even really have a military. So West Palm Beach would desperately want Orlando to unite with them. So let's see, do I get a unite? Oh, I do! What the heck? Okay, that's cool. West Palm Beach is now united with Orlando. So now I should make West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach. And with that, Orlando, let me get rid of West Palm Beach on our rankings. Orlando would top New Orleans with that. So Orlando has made a big splash in the rankings. So we got the Yucatan, then Orlando. Yes, West Palm Beach. We got the Yucatan, then Orlando, then New Orleans, then Miami, then Houston. So that's interesting. We're going to go back to the Yucatan. A small expand. Alright, there we go. Orlando at this point would have more population than the Yucatan, but they don't have the military of the Yucatan. Oh, Miami is going to unite. Who would Miami unite with? Well, they wouldn't want to unite with Orlando because they're not friends, they're at war. So they'd probably unite with New Orleans, which would help them. So this would be the Miami New Orleans Alliance. Yes, I'm calling this an alliance, and I didn't call the other ones an alliance. But that's because Tampa and West Palm Beach and Havana just didn't have the, strength to keep on going. And yes, they do keep their capitals. Let's go with them. A split. So this would probably be New Havana. Why is there not an A there? New Havana. So it would be Havana again. They would probably get squished immediately if they don't take enough land back. But, yeah, okay, let's just go like... Oh, this is a big split in the Yucatan. So New Havana has taken almost all of Cuba. Let me add them to our rankings. They'd probably be below Houston, but not too far below. So New Havana is on the map. Now let's go to Miami, New Orleans. Oh, an Age of Unity. Have enough nations to unite. Houston with a split. God, no, I don't know. There's no big cities over there. Alright, let's figure out something. Beaumont. Trust me, I've been to Beaumont. It's not worth a city. So, Beaumont may not. Beaumont. That's not how you spell it. There's an A. Well, Beaumont has probably split Houston in half at this point. They'd probably take all this. So Houston is split in half. Beaumont. Beaumont. Alright, well there we go. Houston is now very small. Actually, no, they're not. They still have this colony. But they are not. But Beaumont is also very weak. But Houston in the rankings has now gone behind New Havana. So New Havana is now in the rankings. Well, not now, but New Havana has advanced to 5th place, and Houston and Beaumont are now at the bottom. But now you gotta think the New Orleans, half the Miami New Orleans alliance. Oh, they're gonna have a union. They would unite with Beaumont, if we're being honest with ourselves. So New Orleans and Miami. Actually, my bad. New Orleans, Miami are on the same alliance, and New Havana is actually fourth. But New Orleans, Miami remains at third because of the Orlando. Alright, let's go back to New Havana. Is going to build a castle. Let's build a castle in the not in actual Havana. Let's see. Santiago de Cuba. Nope, that's the other country. Let's do it in Santa Clara. I don't know where that is, but okay. Santa Clara. It's like right there. Alright, there we go. Yeah. So now the Yucatan would probably, they are weaker now. Oh, and another small split. This would be Santiago de Cuba. We could do like a more greenish color like that. Santiago de Cuba. That would be this colony down here. Hope this can cover it all. Oh no, we're gonna have to give them more. This is awkward. Somehow Santiago de Cuba has mainland stuff. Oh, a union. Perfect. We could just get rid of them already. Alright, but we will, in memory, put Santiago de Cuba on the map. Santiago de Cuba. Alright, good. Alright, but let's see if New Havana. Okay, a new leader. Where's the new leader? Oh, it's a conqueror. Well, then we better get going. Oh, a union. Oh, God. Havana's gonna have to unite. Houston probably needs some help. And Havana could probably. Okay, yeah. So they're gonna unite with Houston because they wouldn't want to unite with them. They wouldn't want that, and they wouldn't want that. So. Houston's going to unite with them. Houston's essentially dead. So, this is probably the first big world war going on because New Orleans is at war with Houston. So, the sides of the war. Can I bring this over here? No, I can't. The sides of the war would probably be New Havana and Orlando. New Havana and Orlando versus the Miami and New Orleans alliance and the Yucatan. So that's what we're going to end off this episode with. Still plenty of the map to be done later. And next video we're going to do World War I. Bye.